situation is, that is Mr. Maseko continuing, open brackets, my brother, there are these Gupta guys who need to meet with you and who need your help. Please help them. That is paragraph 16. Your question then, Mr. Pretorius?
Well, that is the version of Mr. Maseko, and it's an opportunity for you, Mr. Zuma, to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask you individual questions, or you can respond in general, however is more convenient. Perhaps I should ask, do you recall that happening?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sure. I don't remember, because I normally called the DGs, and particularly this one, to discuss a number of issues. I can't remember making this call. Also, in the Zulu word, I usually say mfanagit.
Yes.
I'm not fond of mfogababa.
Yes.
It looks like somebody was trying to remember my common one in Zulu. Was yes. I always say mfanagit.
Yes.
I wouldn't know, but the issue of this new paper of the owners wanting to talk to the departments, but more importantly, the department of Maseko was a center point in terms of advertisement, whatever, and all the other departments. So it is natural they would want to talk to him. So I don't think there was anything out of the ordinary, whether there was a call or no call. But I don't remember making the call saying Mfogababa. Because I made a number of calls, and really I can't say this one I remember making it for that day to say this must happen.
Is the position that you say it might have happened, but you
it
can't
might have
recall?
Happened. Yeah.
It might have happened, but you can't recall.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You had called and said Mr. Maseko needed to be redeployed or his services terminated. And actually, if I recall correctly, he said Minister Chabane told him that by the time you arrived back in the country, Mr. Maseko should no longer be at GCIS. And he says he believes that he was removed from this position at GCIS of CEO because he did not cooperate with the Guptas. Now, part of this has been, you have been given a chance to comment on it, but I think I wanted to give you a full picture and enable you to see whether you have anything to add to what you had said.
No, I have nothing to add. Absolutely nothing. Because DGs deal with ministers, not the president. There's no president who can say, I don't like this DG. Not working with me. Unless you talk about the DG at the president's office. No reason why I should look at the DG down there and say, I don't want to take him out. It can never happen. It is ministers who deal with their DGs. If there would have been any discussion, there would be discussion if the minister is reporting to the president and says, this is what I wish should happen. In other words, presenting the matter so that the matter is going to be discussed. It never goes this way.
But is your evidence that this is what normally happens? This is what normally happens in terms of the removal of DGs, and you can't specifically remember the circumstances under which Mr. Maseko was removed, or is the position that you have a clear recollection that the circumstances under which he was removed involved Minister Chabane asking you if you could transfer him to the Department of Public Service and Administration.
No, that's what happens. Ministers, if they've got whatever view about their accounting officers, they have the case, whatever it is, they then consult with the president. It has never started from the president, because the president is not working with the president.
Chair, I try to remember the conversation. We did not seem to have discussed when exactly you received the call from President Zuma, but
Yes.
when we were having the discussion, it became clear that the call had been made recently. So it could have been the Saturday, the Friday, or the Sunday
before.
But it was new information.
Yeah. You say in this case between yourself and Minister Chabane, there was no dispute of any kind, and the working relationship was fine. Is that your evidence?
My evidence, Chairperson, is that without any shade of a doubt, there was no dispute between myself and Minister Chabane.
Yes.
And that's why when I asked him the question, why am I being moved from GCIS, he could not give a reason except to say that it's the president's decision and his job as minister is to implement the decision.
Yes.
So there is no written letter, no conversation between me and Mr. Chabane to indicate his unhappiness about my role in the department.
Yes. And of course, we now know, based on the letter that to which Ms. Hofmeyer referred you, that this would be the same minister who a few months before your transfer had scored you 114% in terms of your performance assessments.
That's correct, Chair.
So a few months before, he was extremely very happy with your performance.
That's correct, Chairperson.
All right, drama out there at the State Capture Commission with Themba Maseko having to contradict the former president. Now, Themba, was there a part of you that was reluctant to go and testify at the State Capture Commission once the call was made, precisely because everybody could guess it was going to get here, where you actually have to contradict someone as nimble-footed as the former president?
Oh, okay. No, actually, because you remember when I came out with the story, and it was published in one of the Sunday newspapers. We then got together as DGs and created a forum where we started talking about state capture and how it was affecting our work. And we had agreed as DGs that, in fact, when called upon,
you will go. But we haven't seen many DGs.
Well, I think part of it is that, in fact, one of the demands we made, or calls we made as DGs, was that there should be a judicial commission of inquiry. So this was, in a sense, something that we...
part of what you wanted to see happen.
Actually demanded in our letter to the then president. I think it's a difficult thing, JJ, to come out and speak. It poses a major dilemma. If you ask me the same question now, would I have done it again? I think it presents serious dilemmas because there are serious consequences. I mean, people have to think about kids at school.
Absolutely.
The bond that you have to pay, school fees that you have to pay.
Isn't that always the problem? I mean, just last week we were talking about, you know, we have roundtables here talking about transformation in corporate South Africa. We asked no less than 26 transformation managers in corporate South Africa to come and talk to us about challenges they face in transforming their companies. And most of them declined based on the fear that the following day they may be fired. Are we having a culture of fear gripping our politics?
It's not just politics, as you say. It's also in business. Whistleblowing is a very difficult thing because it leads to victimization of those who blow the whistle. Those who are being accused or exposed by the whistleblowers tend to go on and living their normal lives without any hindrance. Whereas when you become a whistleblower, you in a sense become an untouchable. You become enemy of either the state or
you are placed in a faction, in our factionalized politics. You are placed, he's in this faction. That's why he would go there and say Zuma was lying.
I think it's an interesting thing because even when you bring in the faction discussion, you're finding that people in both factions actually have reservations about
never,
whistleblowers. Because it means that, if this
one day you'll whistle blow to them against
blow the whistle against X, they can blow it against me as well. So it's a complex issue.
So you have to take a conscious decision to almost continue your activism in a different form now.
You have to, because I think that at the end of the day, what drove me to become an activist and to work for government was service to our nation, to our country. And I think that task is not finished. A lot of people need to be encouraged to speak out and go out there. But the country needs to find a way of making sure that you look after those who blow the whistle. There are people who've lost their houses out there, people who've taken their kids out of schools, they've lost their cars, they're actually unemployed. And the funny thing is that even business people or the private sector tends to have a bit of reluctance to actually be seen to be supporting or working with
whistleblowers. Because they would then have to, in a sense, be seen to be opposing someone who's maybe in power at that point. You say, oh, you're my friend of my friend is your friend, or whatever the phrase is. But basically, you are painted with the same brush.
Yeah, and business people will think, what if there's some wrongdoing in my own company? I bring this guy in, and he may actually blow the whistle about what's happening.
You were with Business Leadership South Africa. I hope that this whole state capture thing didn't complicate your life there. You can tell us.
Well, business leadership was quite an interesting experience for me.
Why did you leave?
Well, I signed a 1-year contract with Business Leadership SA, so the contract came to an end. But I still need to give them the recognition that they were the first ones to come to the party and say, come work for us. When many people are still saying, we're not sure about this one. So I'll actually give them recognition for that.
Man, so what are you doing now?
I'm a consultant like you. I'm a communications strategist.
Is that the case?
Yeah, trying to make a living.
All right.
Because at the end of the day, bills have to be paid.
Absolutely.
So that's what I try and do now.
But all the best, man. I wish we had more time because I wanted to ask you what you think of GCIS now. But I know people who are in positions like that often may be reluctant to comment about what hasn't happened since they left. But the reality is the place has come to a standstill in as far as communication. On the level that you were there, Joel, Negitens, and so on, were there.
I think that many government departments have gone through a dip, but I think there's great scope. I'm optimistic. There's a great scope for us to actually rebuild structures and make sure that we attract more professionals to the public service. So I think with the right messages coming from the President Ramaphosa, Tumamina, Spirit, I think there's scope for people to go into the public service and make a difference.
Absolutely. Man, thank you so much, man, for coming to talk to us. All the best with the rest of what you still have to do. I would have wanted to go deeper into your testimony, but I'm sure you'll come back when you're no longer under oath.
My lawyers would have been very unhappy if I'd gone into detail on that.
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was Themba Maseko, the former GCIS CEO, sharing with us his perspective really about the state of the nation. On Sundays, we say goodbye early, but do stay tuned after the news with Come Ready. We repeat the interview with Kwezi Mshengu, the MEC of Education, Kwazi Mshengu, the MEC of Education in KwaZulu-Natal. We have made a call. If you are an MEC of Education in all the other 7 provinces, because all we know is Panyaza, right? So when we did that call and we said so, he called and said, hey, don't dare say there's only Panyaza. So if you are in a Free State or the Northern Cape, MEC of Education, would like to have conversations with you about the future of our children as far as education is concerned. So our door open all the time to talk to you frankly about what you're doing to improve education in your province. But until we talk frankly again, may God bless you.